I'm waiting to see the iPhone 15 because I know that one, nothing's going to be added, but we're still going to buy anyways.
There's just so much people are doing with AI, whether it's the image generation, whether it's the art generation, which some people are happy about and some people are not.
So you guys think smartphones are peaked?
I think so. I would have loved if we get like something. I'm trying to. The word is not coming to my head. Hopefully, you guys can help me out. Like you press a button and the display comes up.
I know what he's talking about.
That is what I want. Personally, I would love a robot that would do my makeup because I don't have time for that. I want that. That's what I want.
Hello everyone, welcome to the third episode of the First Draft, the podcast where we talk about tech and everything else. In today's episode, we have two amazing guests. We have, I'll just let you guys introduce yourself. So, yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Ki Tobiayeni.
Okay, Ezonu.
All right, how are you guys doing?
I'm good.
Good, chilled.
Apologies for the 300-year delay. Everybody played a part in this, but we're all good. How are you? How are you guys?
I'm good.
Yeah, fine.
Awesome. All right, so we'll just jump right into it. The first thing we're going to be talking about is obviously Twitter. or X now.
X.
Yeah, X.
Yeah.
Sounds weird. I mean, you should have named it Y because that's exactly people's reaction to it. It's like, why?
Exactly.
Why? Do you get?
But
no sense.
What are your thoughts on Twitter now becoming X?
I think there's more happening than just it becoming X. I don't think Twitter will remain Twitter anymore. I think a lot of things will change. Monetization, how people tweet or post. I don't know what it's called now. I think all of those things will definitely change. So the rebrand is more or less like, I feel like there's a death to Twitter as what Twitter was before. And then there's a rebirth of something new. That's how I kind of see it. I just don't know what that means generally.
I actually don't think so. I just think this guy likes X. I mean, all of his brands and products have been named X, Space X and all of that. So I feel he's just a rich man that has so much time on his hands, right? Yes, I do agree because I do agree that there are a lot of features that might come along the line, but it doesn't need branding. Like, I don't think it needs to change the name to X to be able to achieve all of these things, right?
Fair enough.
Before, if you can remember, I think the revenue stuff even started already.
Yeah.
Without the need to change. So I just feel Elon Musk has so much money. He feels like he can do anything and it just, yeah. X.com is weird as well.
What the goal is, according to him, is the everything app. So they want it to be like, the way, I think, is it China with WeChat?
Yeah.
That you can do everything on X. You can buy stuff.
So it's like a super app.
Yes.
Okay, so it wants it to be like an all-round platform.
Yes. I think that makes sense eventually, but it won't be called Twitter. Twitter would be the app that people go to tweet. X would be the app that everybody goes to do.
So are you thinking that, okay, when people go to X.com, for example, they see like different categories and there's Twitter, there's this, there's that. Is that how it's...
Maybe it would be called XChat.
It's just too much. But I mean, I get where you're coming from. If that's his aim, hopefully that is his aim. But if it's not, I don't know why.
So a retweet is now called a repost. Tweet is now called a post. Kind of like threads.
Threads.
Yeah. Anyway, before we go on to threads, there were these jokes that people were selling their iPhones with the original Twitter on it for $2,400.
Oh yeah, even Stanley posted a video where you can actually have two. I don't know why.
Yeah, you can
I've never seen this, honestly.
You can have the Twitter logo now.
Yeah.
Or you can use a shortcut, the iPhone shortcuts. You can use it to change the logo to Twitter.
I just feel that the internet is just having fun. I don't think it's going to... Nobody would buy a phone just because he has an old X logo. I don't think so. But it's just internet trying to troll him. And it deserves it, if we're being honest. It does.
But you think overall though, do you think it is the right move?
I don't know about business, right?
I think it is. I think to be fair, with every other app that has gone in a different direction, there's always a rebrand. So I think it's a nice way to keep us anticipating what is to come. So I think I don't know about it being called X, but I think the rebrand was going to happen regardless at some point of that journey. Yeah.
True. I agree.
And then I think the last thing is more of we're not in San Francisco, but the building where he put the logo. There was the whole
disturbance.
Yes, there was the whole thing where they said that it was causing problem for everybody else.
See, when you have money, when you have that type of money,
interesting. What kind of problems? Was it too big? Or?
Yeah, it was.
I think it was the neighbor.
So the neighbors around were seeing like a huge light. Like it doesn't make any sense because you're trying to sleep and there's a huge light staring at you.
It's possible that it could just be like a publicity thing.
Oh yeah, that is valid. That is
make
actually valid. That is valid. True.
Fair enough.
And then like for the next like category, we touched on Threads, and Threads has lost 50%
I'm part of them.
of their users. You're part of them.
I'm part, unfortunately.
Really? Why?
Wait, did you delete Threads?
No, I don't go there again like I used to. I mean, I started with so much excitement.
Were you always on Twitter?
No, funny thing. So, but I really liked that Threads came into play because I felt it was my chance at starting something that I didn't get on Twitter, right? Unfortunately, I feel that Threads or Meta team, they are not quick enough to adopt some changes or features that will make it really stand out. One of which is search, trends, for example. That's one key factor because a lot of people, when I go to Twitter, the first thing I go is to search for the trend table to see what people are talking about, what is trending, and then I'll click before I go to my timeline. That's how I do. So with this, I just go to my timeline. I see a bunch of threads from people that I don't even follow. Right, and I'm just like, okay, let me go back.
There's not a following tab though.
Yeah, there is now.
Yeah,
but that is not an important feature if we're being honest. Why? Search is so key. Search to see what people are saying about. I mean, I would want to search to see what people are saying about me. For example, I want to search Misteki and see all the threads that have Misteki in it. Quotes. Up to now, I can't see quotes.
Yeah,
true.
That was not really.
Yeah, so I feel that they're so late to implement some key features, and I feel, in all honesty, I feel that the guys just rushed. They took advantage of what Twitter was experiencing, which is limiting people's tweets, and they just felt, okay, now is the time to go all in and launch this product, even if they are not so confident about it at the initial stage. My thoughts, sure, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like I don't know what the goal is for Threads, but it felt like a new space where you could get to build your community, say what's on your mind, kind of what maybe Twitter was in the early days. That's what I kind of felt they were going for. But the problem is with apps like that, I feel like people are now looking towards those things for like news and just to know what's happening as opposed to knowing, what does Fisayo think today basically, or what does Oge think today kind of. But then it can actually be a very useful tool if you are someone who wants to share resources with your community. For example, I know there was the launch they opened the thing, I've forgotten what it's called, the update channel thing on Instagram, where you have channels, but you can post, but people don't respond to you. They can only DM you or
and
react
to
basically.
a poll. Yeah.
So I felt like maybe that's their own way to kind of extend that community building, I don't know what to call it, thing that they're going for. Maybe that's what it's for. I don't know what the user psychology is, but I felt like that was kind of what they were hoping for. I'm pretty much like it's not an app I go to every day to see anything unless I feel like there's something that I want to say or share, pretty much.
I think the initial excitement was so nice. Like I was threading.
Woke up in the morning and
I didn't sleep. Honestly, I didn't sleep throughout because I'm like, no way, this is something that is really cool.
Yeah.
I love the look. The UI was so simple.
Very
I'm like,
clean.
nice.
It was very clean.
It would have been nice. It would have been nicer if Mark implemented all of these features. It would have just been nicer. I mean,
so you really think that if all these features were implemented, Threads would still be active?
yes.
I don't think so.
It would. You know why? Because the trend table is one key factor. People want to see what is trending on Threads because it will not be like a bit of a comparison. Oh, what's trending on Twitter? Let me check what's trending on Threads, right? And then they'll talk about it. I mean, Big Brother Nigeria, for example, there's a lot going on. I don't watch it like that, but because of Twitter, I'm forced to
find
know
out what's
what is.
happening.
Do you understand? So it's similar. And that would build more conversation. People that don't even want to talk about something would see something trending and decide to talk about it, right? So,
Fair enough.
yeah.
I think this one is out of the park, but well, for me, it was like Clubhouse
Oh, yeah.
and how Twitter implemented voice and spaces,
Yeah.
displaced them. I think they wanted to buy them, but they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't agree.
It was a bad decision now, thinking about
So
it.
look at it like this now. I think people are already used to Twitter, and all those features are there. And then you
Well,
come and
valid.
create something like Twitter, but you do not give them everything that Twitter has,
offers.
or maybe even more. I think people will just go back to
Go
what
back,
they are used to.
exactly.
What I'm curious of is how Mark intends to monetize the entire thing. I mean, it's open now, but
It's going to come.
it
Wait for it. It's going to come.
pretty much.
If they lost 50% of their users, that's around 50 plus million users.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
that's a
is
lot.
It's a lot.
something. It's still something.
Yeah. That's people that are coming back, yeah?
It's possible. I mean, who knows what comes next?
Not sure.
But if you had any suggestion for threads,
I mean, I'm all about features. Implement all of these features. Let's just see how it goes. Yeah. There's a big chance that it might not even happen the way I'm predicting it to happen, but at least you tried. And now is the best time because a lot of people are still there. 50 million are still there, right? That if they're seeing the same old thing and nothing is coming in, they're not seeing something exciting the attention of the audience is very small.
Yeah.
So you need to retain them as much as you can. So for me, I'd advise the features. I'm all about the features. Put the search, the trends table, what else? Ability to see quotes, like all of these little things, even DMs. People are saying, "Oh, it's not needed." I don't want to click on Instagram and
To be
DM
fair, that
you.
switch, like having to switch between apps,
Yeah.
there's a bit of a delay there, and it's actually kind of stressful because you do something here, you hope you would get responses there, you have to go somewhere else to find it. As smart as it is, it's actually very somehow.
I think if they do that, if they do all the feature thing, it will kill their existing baby.
It would.
Which is
It would
Instagram.
what?
Would it? I doubt it would.
No, it
Instagram
wouldn't.
is different though.
I
Very
don't
different.
think threads should have DMs.
You don't think it should?
I won't.
I'm like, it's a lot. Like you answer here, and it's a lot
Yeah.
to be fair,
Why?
but
So the reason why is because hidden requests. You know, Instagram has this annoying hidden request that if you're not careful, you might miss very important DMs, right?
I didn't know that there were two hidden requests.
Yes,
hidden.
two.
There's
two.
the hidden request and
There's
then there's
another
the other
one.
hidden request.
Crazy.
I'm laughing because this is news. There are two.
Yeah.
There are two hidden requests. So there's
You have to scroll
a
down.
normal hidden request and then
And
there's
then
one
sh-
that they hid because
Yeah.
of your own safety or something.
Yeah.
Oh, if it's hidden for your safety, leave
No,
it.
it's not.
But it's not.
It's not.
Like all the DMs there are actually
Very
DMs
important
that
for
might be
real
important.
people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I just saw one day, I was recent, I just saw, and I saw so many.
So
Like somebody
many.
said they sent me a message. I'm like, no, you didn't send me a message. And they said they sent. I went to messages, I went to hidden. There was nothing there. Like, no, you didn't send me. Why are you saying you sent me a message? And then I later found out that there was a
When you scroll
hidden,
down, yeah.
hidden, like another one.
So chances are the people that send you DMs
And
from
like
X.
I see them like 2 hours ago, 4 hours ago, like
Yeah.
like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So most likely people that are on Threads will send you a DM and it would go on that hidden request.
Oh, I
and
see. Okay.
So yeah.
I'll check.
So you what like anything you think that they should implement?
For threads, I really don't think much, to be honest, of threads. I don't know I don't have any thoughts yet on what they should implement because I don't know the kinds of people on threads. I don't know what they're looking for. Your video content, they're already going to get it on Instagram. Maybe it helps you discover more people, new people that you didn't know before. If you post a picture, it's still going to go to Instagram. So unless they're focused on the community building aspect, then you want to start bringing in things like, for example, features that you have on Discord, maybe bring it over to threads and help people build circles, maybe something like that. But if it's generally for news, I think people would still go back to Twitter to find what's happening.
All right. Okay, let's move on to the new Samsung devices. So Samsung has released new smartphones,
Yeah.
Yeah.
watch, and
Yeah.
and tabs. I
Lovely.
think there was a base model, plus, and ultra.
Interesting.
For the tabs, that is,
Yeah,
and they look nice actually.
they do.
And then the Z Flip 5 and the Z Fold 5.
Yeah.
What do you?
For the flip, right? I'll just say it. That's what flip should look like. It should have the full screen. That's what I've always thought it was going to look like. The first guys that I saw that actually did that was the Motorola Razr
Yeah.
Plus. And I thought it looked very cool. Like it gives you a new perspective as to how you can use your phone, how you take calls, how you would interact with your phone generally. The Fold, for example, I don't really care for this form factor of a device because for me, it's not ergonomically, it doesn't make sense to me for my use case. But some people are power users, and I guess those are the people that this is targeted towards. I pretty much answer phone calls. If I am blessed, I'll take a nice picture, nice videos, but that's all. Like I'm not doing more with my phone. I don't want to write with a pen on my phone. If I need to do anything that heavy, I'll probably do it on a tab or on my laptop. So yeah, I think the full screen makes a lot of sense. It should have been there. I didn't understand the Flip 4 from the Flip 3. I kind of felt it was the same thing. So it didn't make any sense. But then if you're going from a 3 to a 5, I feel like the screen will have an impact in how you use the phone.
It will.
Yeah, I agree 100%. But I completely agree on a serious note, right? I feel that this screen is very, like, it's a big deal. But my opinion is, why is this the only thing that we are getting on this phone? Like, it took them how many years?
You're also getting a closed gap.
Oh yeah, but I mean, if we're being honest, who is thinking about all of these things? Like, who is thinking about whether this has a different
gap in between?
Yeah.
Yes.
I won't lie.
Look at it. It's noticeable.
Okay, actually,
It is. See, getting dust
Looking
out of
at
that
it now.
place is annoying.
Okay.
Like I feel like the
see
gap
that.
is cool.
But the price difference. What do you think about
It's
it?
like 100K difference.
100K.
This is 850, I think. 850 something or
Yeah.
840 something. That is 750.
100K, it makes sense in the sense that I know that there's some amount of money that screen costs. So yes, it makes sense because I think it's more of a higher resolution than what you're looking at here. So I think that makes actual sense. In terms of the cost, I think it makes sense. I'm just happy with the full screen there because I think that is exactly what a flip phone should look like. I like the flip form factor for me. I love it. I think it's fresh, kind of. If only Apple made.
Wait, what would an Apple Foldable look like?
It would
It would be
be
dope.
I don't
Nah,
even
I
know,
think
to
it
be
would be a very good seller.
It would. It
It
wouldn't
would.
have a crease in the middle. I'm
would be
sure it
dope.
would not have a crease in the middle. I think it can.
But for real though, like looking at something like
Funny enough,
the Oppo Find N2,
Yeah.
the crease, it has this, I don't know, it just feels less obvious
Yeah, it's less
visible
obvious
compared
when you're
to
looking
this.
at it head on
me see.
compared to
the Z Flip 5.
Funny enough, and even when you feel it, is less. You can't feel it as much as the one on the flip.
But what nobody has been
Done.
able to replicate is the continuous like degrees of flip on the phone. This doesn't have that. It doesn't have
By continuous, what do you mean?
there's multiple degrees. You can go 45,
Oh
180, 90 degrees.
yeah.
Can you do that with that one?
Yeah, this stays anywhere you put it.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And if you even recall, that's one thing that people
It is a
mentioned with
feature
the
there.
Fold as well.
So here, this one doesn't have any like context awareness. So you can be on any frame or any screen and
it
it's
would-
just normal. It's just
Yeah,
the same normal phone.
yeah.
But this one, when you fold it, the
It
UI takes
changes.
up
Takes,
half,
makes a
keyboard
lot of
takes up half.
sense.
The other half will be your touchpad.
I like that about it. So
Yeah.
I have the
Yeah.
Flip 3, and that's one thing I love. It's just the fact that you can prop it in any way.
And it would,
stays.
it
And
makes
then
sense.
I think I saw I don't know if you know Becca from The Verge. She was using it as a
Oh, yeah, so
No,
that
that was
video.
wasn't that the Motorola Razr Plus?
No.
No, it
She
was
used
the,
it for
it
this
was
one
the
as well.
flip.
Yeah.
I saw the
So
video.
I thought that was
It
cool.
was.
right?
It
I thought it
looked
was cool.
dope.
Yeah.
It looked dope.
I mean, I like the fact that if you're taking, I don't know if that happens with the Flip 5, but if I'm taking if I'm taking a picture of you, it would be cool if you could also see yourself
yourself.
on
Yeah.
that screen.
You can,
Like,
see,
that
you
would
can
make
do that
sense.
Yes,
with this. Okay,
You
nice.
can.
So personally, I feel that phones have gotten to that peak where I am not as excited as I used to be, right? So all of these little things, all of these things we're mentioning, yes, it's cool, but it's not like, oh my God, it doesn't freak me. I remember when, like, as far back as I don't know the year, but as far back when phones used to be like a big deal, like every upgrade is major, right? For now, it's just like little things that they're trying to use to get people to switch. I'm waiting to see the iPhone 15 because I know that one, nothing's going to be added, but we're still going to buy anyways. But I wish we could get back that feeling of excitement we get when a new phone launches, because now it's just like little updates.
Fair. I think that might happen with these foldable, flexible screens. I feel like it would happen with that. I don't know how far it will go, because I agree with Ms. Teki when she says that, it feels like it's peaked.
Yeah.
But what we're enjoying now is not more of maybe performance, it's more of experiential. Like, how do you use your phone? What does it look like? How would you interact with it? If you give me new ways to interact with my phone, best believe that I will be very happy with that. So that's one thing I'm liking with the Flip. The Fold, yes, to be fair, while it's not my cup of tea, I feel like it does actually introduce that new experience for people. For people who are power users, it's great for them. You can see your spreadsheet if you want to. You can do all that on the phone. So I think maybe phones won't get to the point where, batteries will keep getting bigger, phones will keep getting thicker, to be fair, and heavier. But I feel like if you're giving people a new way to look at their phones, interact with their phones, that would be a very interesting place. Because, if you make your screen from 4K to 8K, I don't see past 4K, to be fair. So even if it's 8K, I might look at and the funny thing is when I switched from the 13 Pro to the 14, for the first 5 days, I was like, wow, the screen is so fluid. By the second week, my eyes had adjusted. So you can't really tell the difference as it's moving. You just know that it's cleaner, but again.
So you guys think smartphones have peaked?
I think so. I would have loved if we get something. I'm trying to. The word is not coming to my head. Hopefully, you guys can help me out. You press a button and the display comes up.
I know what
he's
talking about.
That is what I want.
Please, what is she talking about?
Vision Pro, but in real life.
So when you there are keyboards that have it, or mouse.
Yeah.
There's one thing that if you click on it, you can see your keyboard on the screen and you can type on there's something. I think there's a gadget like that. I saw it. So I want that. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for.
The problem with that is I doubt that you would see it with your normal eyes. You might need some glasses.
But let it happen. I want it to
That would
happen
be
because
interesting.
right now I feel all of the features, it's just they're increasing it to 10 gig, they're increasing to 16 gig. It's still, people cannot use the people have not used the capacity. What's the word? People have not fully used the capacity that their phone offers, right? So all of this 16 gig, 17, my mom will not be able to use anything. You get my point? So we need something revolutionary. We need something that is completely different from what we're used to seeing, not just specs like gigs and RAM and all of that. Yeah, that's what I want.
But if now next month, September, Apple is launching iPhone 15.
iPhone 15.
You said you're looking forward to it. What would you like to see?
We know that nothing is going to change, nothing significant. I've seen the leaks. Unbox Therapy posted a video and it's still the same look. Most likely they're going to add to the RAM or add to the battery. And
camera bumps, for sure. Camera is always going to be bigger, better, to be fair.
And it's something that we're already used to. People would even advise that if you want to get a new iPhone, some people would say, if you can't afford to go for the new one, rather than buying iPhone 13, to show you how good these phones are, even till now. So, in my opinion, adding all of these little things, where yes, Apple fanboys and girls will still get it, but if we're being honest, there's no major difference between these two devices. Even with the 13 and 14 stuff.
To be fair, Dynamic Island.
That's
the only thing I can say.
That's all.
Dynamic Island. But it would surprise you how important Dynamic Island is. Considering the first iPhone I got was a 7, right? And I moved from 7 to all the rest. You see, when someone calls you literally you'd have to wait for the call to go if you didn't want to pick it. It's nice now that you can actually do other things with your phone. For the 15, I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if it will happen, but there might be an ultra line. And I feel like, I don't know, this is me just generally saying, I'm just literally spitballing. I feel like there might be an ultra line at some point in their journey. And that ultra line wouldn't be, glamorous or sleek. It would be more rugged. The same thing that they've done with the Apple Watch.
Apple Watch,
So I feel like that might come at some point. maybe if we are lucky, flip phones could happen too. But like with 15, I just feel it's more or less USB-C is a big thing for me.
Oh yeah, that one.
USB-C is a big thing for me. But like should USB-C be the only thing that we're excited about for a new phone? But I think it's a huge thing in the sense that there was the whole news and policy thing for them when they were making that switch. So I think that is actually very cool. I don't know what the design will be like, but I don't think it's going to be anything too different from what we have. Yeah. But cameras, they keep getting better. Like the iPhone cameras keep getting better, which is cool.
Some people will not agree with you.
Personally, I mean,
all of you that are zooming into the moon.
It's not even that.
So it's not even that. Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't know, to be fair, because everything I barely ever shoot and just leave it raw that way. So I'm always going to change the way tones, because I feel like I don't know if there's a camera that will actually get your skin tone. People say Canon does. I've never used the Canon before, so I don't know.
Canon has good colors.
Yeah, I've heard the color science is fantastic.
Okay. All right. So well, hopefully the new iPhone. There's something we're always talking about in my podcast, the interviews, and it's AI. And do you? I mean, I feel like it's a naive question, but do you use AI?
Do I use AI?
You have a series of videos on AI.
Do I bait? Like no. I love AI.
Same.
Why?
Because it improves my life. Like there are so many things that I no longer have to do now because of AI. Emails, I don't reply emails again, especially emails that go into my like emails from fans, for example, because those ones are just asking generic questions, right? I have like a plugin, an extension that automatically replies, and if there's like an email that is not that requires my attention, it signifies me like, don't you want that in your life?
Is that not too much? Like the
privacy. I get it. That's why I said there's a limit, right? I don't expose it to personal, confidential emails.
I have something. You see this privacy topic? All of you that give your details freely to Google, right? Literally, your password, your cards, everything is stored on Google. Yeah. So I don't see and to be fair, I'm not sure about this, but I think there might be a T&C between Bard and trying to cross that data, but your data is being transferred regardless. So
yeah, exactly.
Whether or not you are giving AI, so it will get it.
Maybe emails, because sometimes it might utilize some information there, especially if the developer is very like dubious, right? Which is what I said, not my confidential emails. So I have 2 email addresses. The one for public is the one I give access to, right? I get where Oge is coming from. What's the point? You're already giving Google, you're already giving Instagram all of this information. So I mean, if they want to do anything, they can easily do anything to it, right? But when it comes to AI, I'm all up for it. There's a particular person that said that AI is introducing the era of 666. Hey, God. Someone said that. I saw it a TikTok video.
I mean, my take on AI, while I'm saying, regardless, your data will be there, I think we should be cautious about how we use it regardless. I mean, there's a reason why OpenAI, the CEO of OpenAI, has mentioned that be mindful. I do feel like it's kind of like what happened with nuclear energy at some point. I feel like at some point there would be government bodies that, kind of guard how you use it, because I use AI every day. ChatGPT generally. I don't really care much for all the other ones that come out, because I see the improvements that happen with ChatGPT. So I actually use that on a regular basis for different things. It could help me with a first draft of, say, for instance, a blog post. For example, that
don't we all?
So, for example, it helps get things done faster. That doesn't. I mean, it's good enough that you take it and you go. But if you want just a first draft to get started on something, it can do that. I saw this really cool. I mean, I think there's a new integration with custom instructions. I've been reading about it recently because
you can now have a preference.
Exactly.
So you can tell ChatGPT to reply to you in a certain type of So
even more answers to do with the information that you give it. So the first column is tell it about yourself, and then the second one is give it instructions on how it should respond to you. I think people should start to use more the top column. Tell it what it is that you do as your profession. Let it know, for example, who you are, your ethnicity if you want to, your age if you feel like, but you can tell it your goals. Now, one thing I've done is I've tried that out at some point, and the responses I get, it feels very familiar, right? Aside it saying hi Oge, which I mean Siri too will tell you if you want it to at some point, but like aside that, it's very interesting that it has a very optimistic tone regardless.
Yeah.
So it has that optimistic, it references previous conversations. There's just so much people are doing with AI, whether it's the image generation, whether it's the art generation, which some people are happy about and some people are not. I feel generally what AI is doing today is it's leveling the playing field. So if you have an idea, join. If you have the skill, join. Everybody has a playing field to start something. It's kind of like there's this thing I saw about, someone said a quote that if you wake up tomorrow, it doesn't matter who has posted online today, tomorrow everybody's starting from ground zero. So yeah, I think it's very, in that regard, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So do you think there's also the other camp of AI taking jobs? I was reading this article yesterday about this thing, and it was that AI will, like, there's technology, surely whenever there's new technology, it will take jobs, but it also creates a new kind of, job opportunities. Like all of us here are working because of some people decided to make a platform or platforms.
Yeah.
And we joined and we are like broadcasting ourselves.
Yeah.
Or sharing.
Yeah.
And with AI now, it's like, apparently, according to that article, the kind of jobs that will be lost are high collar jobs. Or jobs that, not high collar jobs, like maybe blue collar jobs. Yeah. Jobs that are like data entry jobs.
Yeah.
Or like
entry level jobs. Yeah.
You can't, but it was more optimistic towards the side of barbers, nannies, and all these other kinds of, because
you need a physical. Are you sure? Are you sure?
That AI will cut your hair.
Are you sure?
AI to cut your hair.
So I saw a TikTok video where there's a robotic AI, maybe not AI, but a robot that does microblading.
You would trust it?
Well, the girl trusted it. I would not. Personally, because that's close to my eye, that's too close for comfort. But I mean, I'm saying it's getting there. We're already seeing the signs, right? If personally, I would love a robot that would do my makeup, because I don't have time for that. I want that. That's what I want, right? I would pick the face that I'm gunning for. I don't have to just put, and it does it for me in a bit. I would love that, right? And it's going to get there. I feel maybe nannies, maybe not. I wouldn't want to trust my children with a robot. Definitely not. What if all these things we see in movies happen and there's a glitch in the system, right? But
just fling your baby.
I think there was an episode of Love, Death and Robot that was kind of like that. So,
but it's gonna get there. I believe strongly it's gonna get there.
Have you seen the new Black Mirror?
No, I haven't seen it.
There's this episode there, like this part about AI and everything. Like, I wanted to make a reel about it. Maybe we can even just crop from this video, but I'll just say it anyway. There's this episode in Black Mirror, and it's about, I think the person is like an investigator.
Okay.
They put a thing on your head, and it will recall your thoughts based on what they ask you. Do you know that there's something like that?
Yes, I saw it
today.
I saw it.
I saw there's this video.
The guy
goes to your dream.
An MRI that works with the AI. So they've trained the MRI to be fair, and they've trained the AI to be fair. So on the MRI, so they already talk to each other. But they now asked the person. There were two prompts. The first one was, look at this picture of a giraffe and think about it. And the AI spits back a picture of what looks like a giraffe in greenery. The original image was a giraffe in the bush. The AI brings out a giraffe in greenery. The second one was, watch this video. And the AI wrote out what the person was saying. So the video was of a lady that got hit in the back, struck in the back with something. The AI wrote, I see a girl that looks just like me, get struck in the back.
Interesting.
This exists.
Prophet AI.
It's today. So like when I saw that Black Mirror episode, I was like, this is coming.
Yeah.
During interrogations, they can put that thing on your head and ask you, were you there?
Yeah.
And you cannot lie.
Very, very true. I mean,
And
sketch artists, for example, that's pretty much what they're doing. Literally, it's sketching what you tell them. So that at some point that could come. But if we roll back to the question of AI taking jobs, I think with every era, whenever we're moving from one
Yeah,
era to the
sure.
other, there are people that will lose their jobs and there are people that will gain.
Okay.
I've recently been seeing people talking about prompt engineering. I do think it is a job, to be fair, because what I don't think or agree with is when businesses say we'll cut costs by by using it. You're not cutting costs. You're going to be paying more because prompt engineering is going to cost more. That particular person
to get
did that
the
job.
to get the software
To get the software,
Yeah.
to get the person who will operate the software, because
But
it's not
I
just.
think it's initial. It's just like your initial cost. So once you figure out the initial cost you're going to use to get it, the rest is history because you're not going to pay
How are they not
continually.
cutting costs if they don't?
I think you are to an
the
extent.
salaries of the people that are calling themselves prompts, not even calling themselves, because I think
Okay.
it's a valid role.
I get.
If you had, for example, a copywriter and a prompt engineer, they're not going to be. You can't
Yeah.
pay them the same thing. To be
Yeah.
fair,
Yeah.
so they will charge more. The
More.
people who will be operating these things will cost more. The software will be maintained over time. So it's not that there's the initial cost of getting it and setting it up, but then there's the recurring cost of keeping it going. I think everybody who's using OpenAI's API to build something knows that there's that recurring cost that comes. But yes, it will simplify lives. It will create opportunities. It will take some. So I feel, again, it goes back to it's going to kind of create more value for people actually, in the sense that entry level, which was base, will be more advanced. So entry level would be a level up as opposed to where it is. So I think in that way, I mean, I've been saying a lot of positive things about AI. There are negative things to it, to be fair, which are the things that we should be mindful of. But again, rather than being afraid that something will take your job, it's best to know how to control it so you can use it. I don't know. Did anybody see Hidden Figures? Did you ever watch? So there was that movie with the 3 women that learned how to use what was that big computer? Was it a main computer?
I think I've seen it. Yeah.
So that's a very pivotal
yeah.
time. They got this really huge computer. It was supposed to solve problems.
Yeah.
You know, the company was going to cut costs, sack everybody. Nobody could use it. It was just there, lying fallow. So these 3 people, their departments would have been the first one to go.
Yeah.
And what these 3 women did was they learned how to operate the mainframe. I think it was a mainframe computer, and taught the rest of the department people. So they actually were able to earn more because they learned how to use it. That's kind of the direction it might go in. Again, please don't listen to me. I'm not an AI expert.
I feel like in everything there will always be like positives,
Yeah,
and negatives
and
as well. Yeah.
AI is that too. Even in the same video, and it's sad to say, but like the AI was helping like an underage person, go on a date with a much older person, and the AI did not know. Like, the lady said, I'm a 17-year-old girl, or I'm a 16-year-old girl. I'm going on a date with this man that is X amount of years older than me.
Yeah.
Give me advice on a date, and the AI freely gave advice, and it was just like, wow, this is scary.
Yeah.
And
But obviously, once that video goes up,
once that
they're
video
going
went
to
out, obviously,
they're obviously going to put up
that change.
that's the end, right?
Exactly.
And that's the good thing about it, the fact that it can get updates, they can change, they can apply policies, right? So for example, Adobe's generative fill now has a tag that they put on photos, just so people are not deceived easily by some of these images. I know we can crop it,
I don't
but
understand.
the point I'm trying to say is, now, Instagram as well, they factor that in, and anytime they notice an AI-generated image, they're going to tag it the same way they do COVID images, right? There's going to be a tag on AI-generated images so that you don't get fooled. I mean, if you put in an article from ChatGPT and you take it to one of this website, I've forgotten the name, it can detect if it's 99% gotten from
But for
AI.
images though, how would that work?
I mean, they are the same people that created these things probably know how to figure out a way to detect it. So it's a garbage in, garbage out. They can do it and figure it out. Yeah. So
even speaking of Adobe, the one that blew my mind was Adobe had vocal. I don't know if you remember, old.
Yes.
Where
you
could, as you are editing, you could edit, like train the the AI would understand the thing, and then you will replace the words that the person said with other words.
Oh, I think I saw
and
that.
they never released it.
I think I saw that.
I don't know if we said it in a previous podcast, but I feel like they're going to release vocal.
I think
I saw
they
that.
will,
Because
they will control a lot of what you can do with it though.
But they will
Yes.
the thing is if they do that, that's probably like the end. Like,
How?
it will
How?
it is going to, first of all, it's going to take your voice and it will be exact. Like this one was very good.
Fisayo.
I mean, there's AI that does that now, but
Exactly. Deep fakes.
I doubt. I don't know how they will implement that, but I don't know because the deep fake thing she mentioned is quite scary. Like
It is. I mean,
it's very scary that someone can impersonate you. To be fair,
and get
so
it to the T.
I don't know how they would release it. I'm actually curious to know what they will do because with generative fill, they are actually very specific on mentioning that they are not. What's the word? That they're not taking from artists. This is literally being generated by computers. I might be wrong in the way I'm saying it, but unlike Midjourney, exactly, you need to train it. So I feel like they might be training it with their own data. I don't know, to be fair, but they're very specific on the fact that it's the work that you create. They know they have a limit on what you can actually create. That they're controlling it in that way. It's possible.
I mean, if we're not scared of deep fakes yet, I saw a video and I thought it was real until I read the comments and someone said this is obviously fake. So
yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. I don't even know how to segue to the next point. But yeah, like we've already come to like the end of the topics. We just have 3 more things, but the first thing is, what is in your pocket? What's your daily driver?
iPhone 14 Pro.
14 Pro?
Yeah, just iPhone 14 Pro, not the big one. Just
no other phone?
I'm a very simple person. No other phone.
What about you?
Unfortunately, it's not because I'm not simple, but I have to test. So I use iPhone 13 because I tried iPhone 14 and I didn't see the major difference. So I still have iPhone 14, but I don't use it, right? Then I have Fold, Techno's Fold as well, V Fold. Those are the 2 major, because V Fold for the display, iPhone 14 because Apple ecosystem. Yeah, so a bit of both worlds.
Okay, cool. And the last thing, what is the tip of the day? So one tech tip.
Oh, you're putting on the spot.
That nobody knows. Nobody probably knows. Or something you've talked about before that you just want to highlight.
Tech tip. That's going to take a couple of seconds to think about. Hold on.
Something that you can just be descriptive about.
Tech tip. The funny thing was,
let me check. My phone is dead.
Oh, I don't know if it's a tech tip, but I've been wanting to say this. Again, it has to do with ChatGPT, to be fair. Okay. But I feel if you use ChatGPT on a regular basis, it's very interesting to segment all your conversations as threads so that you can, so for example, if you created a thread because you needed software coding help, tag that guy as your software AI builder. Always go back to that thread for software building. That way you give it more context as to what your goal is, what you're trying to achieve, and then it's the response it gives you eventually would be better over time. So all your individual threads, rather than them being sentences, just tag them with something. So that way you have Gym AI, English AI, if you need one, Spanish AI, what's it called? Coding AI, content creator AI, that kind of thing. So that way you're getting relevant responses from ChatGPT. That's one very life-changing hack for me. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm about to teach people bad things, but it's still with regards to AI. If you take your articles from ChatGPT, right, there's a website on detectable.com, and what this does is to try to make it sound as human as possible. Yes, there's a way you can tweak ChatGPT to sound human, but chances are it might be detectable by other softwares that can detect this thing. So what undetectable.com does is to sort of make it not detectable to. So let's say you are a student, right, and you're trying to submit an article, and your lecturer is a Gen Z lecturer that knows about all of these things, right? Chances are they might check all of these things online and see if you got the stuff from ChatGPT. But with undetectable.com, you can strip off all of the AI-ness of the article.
Interesting.
Right. So maybe that's a tip or not, but yeah.
I'm on their website.
Their what?
It's on their website.
Wow.
Fair enough. Interesting.
I'm trying to.
All right. And with that, we've come to the end of the First Draft podcast. Now we're going into the quiz.